Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
That's what I tell them.
I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals. I go out and I go get it. How to code, that's all I know. I don't succeed, then I don't breathe. Success, what does it mean? If I conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles, compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles, go take care of your business. Success Chronicles, it's deeper than just winning. Success Chronicles.
I think it's kind of starting with a topic here. Just seeing that situation transpire, it makes me think about being open. And what I mean by that is just the fact that you're open and willing, a lot of times will bring you opportunities. Okay. But if you aren't open, you cut yourself off to some opportunities, and sometimes we get caught up in being in our own way, and we're not open and willing, and we hurt ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking, like, looking at that situation, just imagine if you weren't open.
Right.
You wouldn't have the opportunity.
So when you said that really kind of fired a lot of different thoughts. So when I was away at lunch, I turned my little clock around, letting people know, I'll be back at this time or that time. But I never turned the open sign off.
Yes.
Because I don't want people to think that just because I'm not here now doesn't mean I won't be here soon. And so by leaving the clock, giving them a real idea of what time I'll be back,
Yeah.
it kind of allows an opportunity that may come even when I'm not ready for it. So they say opportunity only knocks once, or does it? There are some opportunities that may come, and if it's for you, I believe it's for you.
Yeah.
And so there are people that have come and they saw, hey, well, maybe, they're out to lunch or whatnot, and they will actually come back.
Yep.
And so not only being ready, being flexible, but being willing to catch somebody that comes the second time around.
I love that. Just be open.
Yeah. Still be open.
Even if you got to come back, be open to it.
Be open. It's funny you should say that, because a lot of barbers, particularly in this area, kind of are trying to seek after barber celebrity status. And so they're kind of trying to make sure that they're known as celebrity barbers. I've actually heard of a client, well, it's actually a client of mine that told me that was a particular barber that they had been, this particular barber had been cutting them for quite some time. And then because a professional basketball player at the time that was here in Houston wanted this particular barber to cut their hair, they canceled their appointment with their guaranteed steady client and said, hey, I can't cut you because such and such wants me to cut their hair.
Yeah.
Not really understanding that they lost somebody that comes every 2 or 3 weeks for years for a professional athlete that, yeah, they may have let you cut them once here, but they probably got a barber at every other, city or state that they stop in. And then how often are they actually going to use you over that time? And then how long are they going to even be with that team?
Right. Yeah.
So this particular client that told me this story is still a client of mine. And the event occurred about 4 years ago. So it makes me think about how often we turn away opportunities because we have a separate agenda, and how our agendas can hurt us in the big picture of things.
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt. It's kind of like when we're closed, we limit ourselves to those opportunities. I think just in that too, I think a few things come up for me. I think consistency is something that comes up. I think loyalty.
Wow.
Is something that comes up. I think respect.
Right.
Is something that comes up as well. So I think, and in all of those, when you have all of those, I think they jumbled up together and make effort. Come on. I think when you're consistent, you give maximum effort.
Wow. Okay.
To get the maximum results. I think when you're loyal, that's consistency. But also people will give you the effort back because you're loyal.
Wow. I've seen that.
Yeah,
I've seen that happen. And I appreciate you mentioning that. Because, there are times in this business where, as an entrepreneur, particularly through this, time we're going through, recovering from the pandemic, and economists say this, and we're heading for a recession. Some say more than one recession. And so it's just like, as a business owner, you oftentimes second guess your decisions and your business. And hey, am I really, like you say, maximizing my opportunities?
Yeah.
And so, sometimes it appears that if I would just do this or just do that or take this shortcut or maybe just close my eyes for 1 second on one issue that is a foundational principle for the quick gain, what can be the long-term cost of that? And so you really encouraged me by just noticing that, and that consistency of being available, how ultimately you get that back, because it's that reciprocating effect that this is really built on.
Because just cycling back, you don't have to be open. Come on.
Right.
And when I say open, I'm not just talking about the barbershop.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm talking about just in life.
Right.
You choose that. You choose to be open. But you have to understand that you being open, oh man, it's going to open up so much for you.
I could hear some thoughts firing off in your head all at one time. I'm really curious as to what was happening at that moment just a second ago.
It's good you asked that, because you're right. I don't know. It just made me think about life. I mean, I'm a real reflective guy, so a lot of the times when I see things, because I write as well, and so a lot of the things that I see, I'm hyper aware of scenarios and things I come in contact with.
Right.
Because I know there's life lessons in everything.
Right.
And so just seeing the guy come in and how you communicated with him effectively, and like all of the above, like things that's just of greatness, of caliber, of quality. I was like, man, that's a life lesson right there. And you think about all of the opportunities that we've had in our life just because we were open.
Wow. Just
because we were present and there in the moment.
Right.
Whereas somebody else wasn't, and we got the opportunity.
Wow. Wow, that's good.
I mean, you can take that to like every position that I've had in my career.
Right.
I mean, you can take that to every spot that I got on the football field.
Wow.
Like pick something.
What does that say in your availability is your ability?
Your availability is your ability. I like that.
Wow.
I like that. Your availability is your ability.
So I was watching this episode. I don't know if you really call it an episode. It was an apology recently. Shannon Sharp, and
Just saw that earlier.
yeah, and it was something that just really is playing over and over in my head. Is he said, I would say that that's not Shannon Sharp, but in actuality, that is me.
I was just out of character.
It was just me acting out of character.
Yep.
So, me being probably hyper analytical, I began to think about that from a theatrical standpoint when he said it was just me acting out of character. So, in movies and plays, you have a character. And so a character is not necessarily, so when Denzel did Training Day, right? Denzel had a hard time after he did Training Day because we were used to Denzel being smooth and debonair and the ladies' man and, you know, Mo Better Blues, Bleak Gillum, and then all of a sudden he flipped the script on the type of character that he played, and people had a hard time, one, accepting that character, but then two, he played the role so well in Training Day that now people started to identify him with that character. And so I thought about, like, even Carlton Banks. Carlton Banks forever. Alfonso Ribeiro has always been associated. He's Carlton no matter what else he does. Everybody. So when somebody says something like acting out of character, so a character may not even really be who you are, because we have a word called integrity. Because integrity is who you are when nobody's looking. When character, I know we use it interchangeably, but sometimes it just seems to me that when I'm acting out of character, maybe I was behaving in a way that was untraditional for what you're used to seeing from me. But integrity is who I really am. Mm-hmm. So your acting out of character may have exposed your true integrity. Now that's just my thought. So Shannon Sharp, you can holler at me and explain more to me if need be.
Yeah, that's good. I love that. The breaking down of character versus integrity. That's good, Doc.
So I'm always trying to kind of make sure that I'm consistent. You know, as a pastor, that's also a barber, and one of my guys that works with me also is a member at the church. And so he sees me here in the barbershop, and he sees me at church. And so if this is only a character here, then I switch the character that I am at church. Now he doesn't even know who I am. So have I lost some respect because I have not maintained integrity and been the same me in any element that I'm in?
Man, that's deep. That gave me chills. Because it's so true. I think the ultimate goal, because I'm all about success.
Right.
All about legacy.
Right.
You know, at the end of the day, when I'm gone, I think, you know, people have asked me, what's one thing that you think people will say about you when you're gone?
Right.
And that word is consistent.
Wow. Yeah.
Right. And so without a shadow of a doubt, I want people to know that Chip is the same person. You know what you're gonna get from Chip.
Absolutely. Baby. Absolutely.
Right. And like there's things like that I do or that I've done that there's people that I haven't been around in years, and they can still tell you, oh no, he's gonna always do this.
Wow.
Oh no, he does this.
Right.
But this is his mannerism.
Right.
Like this kind of thing. And so like I don't know, I take pride in that, man.
Right.
And not a bad thing, not a bad way. I mean,
right. Absolutely.
Like I put work in to do that, and not perfect at all by far,
for sure.
But the goal is to be as consistent as I can be. So I want people to know what they're gonna get from me.
Yes,
like
sir.
It's not you don't like no one will ever have to second guess what they're gonna get from Chip Baker.
Wow. Wow. That's important.
Oh, it's huge.
That's important.
It's huge. When you think of, and the reason why is like I think about the people that were consistent in my life.
Wow.
You know, either way, good or bad.
Right. Absolutely.
You know, whatever it is, like I knew what I was gonna get.
Yeah, you could appreciate that consistency.
Either way, I appreciate you. Right. That's real.
Right. So I think about like people's response, like you said, good or bad. That's a powerful paradigm, because in essence what you're saying, even if people weren't behaving well, you just came to accept, well, that's just how they are. And so it's interesting that if you walk in a room and this particular person always reacts a certain way and they don't react that way, then normally our reaction is like, what's wrong with you? It's like, well, what do you mean? I'm fine. Well, no, something has to be wrong with you, because normally you always do da 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 da, and today you didn't do that. So good or bad, my dad used to tell me something that kids will seek attention, whether it's positive or negative, and they don't really care which. They just want the attention. And so I think about that people are used to we're back to character, the consistency of your behavior.
Man.
And so if your behavior changes, even if it's a negative behavior, we're so accepting of that from you. Somebody else, we may never accept that. But that's just what we've come to grow accustomed to getting from you. So when you don't get that, something is wrong in our mind, because that's inconsistent with who you are. Which is back to integrity, who you are when nobody's looking.
That's right. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It just continues to go back
right
to that.
Now I got to tell you, man, I really appreciate with you saying that. I thought about the opportunity to just be, at the meeting with you the other day, and just to see that it was the same chip. You may have had a jacket on, you may, but the one hand in the pocket instead of you sitting in the chair, but it's still chip. And that is a gift to people, because now I can trust you. I can trust the guy that this is who they're gonna be. And so I think about somebody in the court case. They always call somebody called, well, you may need a character witness, because we got to know, hey, this is some behavior that this person, or activity this person is being accused of. We need somebody who can talk about the consistency of their character. So now I hear your wheels turning. I got to hear what you're thinking right now. Talk to me.
Ooh, man, that's so good. I think lots going on in my head with that. I think the first thing is just the gratitude piece. You talk about the meeting that we had, and basically what it was is education and faith-based leaders from the area, coming together to get information about an opportunity that can be provided to people that need the opportunity.
Yes, sir.
And so, first off, every one of those people that were in that room, I'm connected with, and they have blessed me in some way in my life.
Right. Wow.
And I'm truly grateful for that.
Yes, sir.
And so I think highly enough of them that, man, I got to give you this information. So that we could come together and make more of a difference in the world.
Absolutely.
I think that's the first piece that hit me. I was overwhelmed with gratitude, because y'all ain't have to be there.
Right. Yes, sir.
Because your time is valuable, and you took the time out of your precious schedule to say, hey, well, if he invited me, then I'm going to probably go check it out.
Absolutely.
And you ain't got to do that.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so for that, I think that's the first thing. But then the next piece is I've tried to be consistent and work hard and do things to be dependable for every person that was in that room too.
Clearly.
And so it's reciprocal.
Right.
Like you said, you know what you're going to get.
Right.
But then, here's the good part. When you got people that come together like that, like we did, watch out.
Right. Yes, sir.
Because great things happen. And so I say all that to say this. You talked about character witness.
Right.
When you strive to be a person of character and have integrity and strive to do things the right way, you attract other people like that in your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And when you attract other people like that in your life, big things happen because y'all always come together, and it's not about me.
Right.
Each person knows bigger than me.
Right.
Because that's your character. So I think that was one of that's what really hit me as you were talking about character, and you mentioned the meeting we had the other night.
So I wonder what would have happened had the same opportunity been available, but had your life not depicted one of integrity and character, so that when you placed the invite, the reception of the invitation had very little to do with the opportunity itself. For me to decide whether or not I was going to, like you said, people don't have to show up. What made me decide if I was going to come,
it was the person.
Had little to do with what it was. It was what Chip said it.
Yeah.
And so everything I filtered through your resume, your history, your background, your consistency, your integrity.
Yeah. And
then we said, okay, well, if he thought enough of me to put me in the room, I trust Chip enough that this is the room I want to be in. I'll find out what's in the room when I get there. That's
but he said he need me.
I'm on there. You go. There you go. So that's powerful.
Yeah.
And I guess that's when we talk about giving people their flowers while they're alive.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one way to really know that.
Yeah.
You know, for people to show up for you like that is because you have, in essence, shown up for people like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if the character was different, it wouldn't have been a meeting in the first place.
Right, absolutely.
Because that church wouldn't have hosted us.
Right. Wow, absolutely.
This mega church in the area, wouldn't have hosted us if
not this rascal.
No.
You might need to have that at the house.
we are close.
Right. Wow.
And but then here's the other thing, and I'm gonna speak on this too because this is big, and you'll understand this because you're this kind of person too. But it also preaches to the relationship piece,
right?
Like great things come from having great relationships.
Absolutely.
And when you strive to be a good teammate, a good friend, a good teacher, a good coach, a good student, teammate. And when you strive to do those things, you create relationships and you create bonds.
Yeah.
Like, you know, most of those people in that room been in the trenches with them, dog.
Right.
My little sister, my brother-in-law, my family, coaches that I coached with. Like we started in the game together.
Right.
You know, administrators that I had that were like my boss.
Right.
You know, people that looked out for me, that gave me opportunities when they saw something in me that I ain't seeing myself.
Yeah. That's powerful.
You know, and so I think it speaks to the relationship piece. But then again, like when we started, it still goes back to the character and integrity.
Right. Yes, sir.
And being open and willing.
So I thought about I guess you could say the thing that everybody had in common, though we didn't know it, that was a consensus of trust, that we were open to talk to people, though we may have never met them before, based on the fact that Chip is the common denominator. So if Chip think enough of you to be in the room, just on the strength of who you are to him, there wasn't the pretentiousness and the airs and let me feel you out and see what it was like. Everybody in the room had known each other before.
Yeah.
And so that unifying force is you.
That's a blessing, man.
I mean, because there were people, a couple people I've known, you know, that we didn't even know we were connected to.
Mm-hmm.
But even that is so powerful, because what if he had seen your character be like this in one place and I had seen your character like this in another, and we like, oh, well, wait a minute. Now there's a disparity between the character of the individual. And it was none of that. Yeah, man, we're like, man, did you know that? Oh, no, man, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So, man, it's just so many layers and rewards that come from just Chip being Chip.
It's a blessing, man.
Yeah, man, that's an awesome testimony to you. I know you are so good to blow everybody else's horn, but I got to give you your props, man. Hey, that's powerful. As we unpack this,
man, it's a blessing. Like I reflect on that kind of stuff lots too. Like, man, I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm grateful that the big man gave me sense enough as a kid to just shut up and listen.
Right.
And do what mama and them tell you to do.
Man. Facts.
And so I'm grateful that I had great people around me to show me that. I'm grateful that there were some people that I could look up to and see how to be that way too.
Wow. Yeah.
Because none of that is just me.
Right.
That's what I've learned. That's
right.
That's all I know. Like, is there any other way? I mean, it is, but
well, you saw other ways.
Yeah,
you saw lots of other ways.
But I chose to.
Yeah.
You're right. So it's been a blessing.
Yeah.
Like big blessing, and then the sweet component is you know this. So in order to get to that place that we're speaking of, it takes a lot of sacrifices. And it makes you grateful and proud that when you make the sacrifices that you made to be the best version of yourself, and you're open and willing, it allows you to be in spaces where you can be a blessing to others.
Right.
And that's the money right there.
Wow.
And I'm not saying money and just green, like money.
Right.
I'm just saying that's the place that we all strive to be in our life, you know?
You know, you said something that I understood immediately what you meant, that you didn't mean necessarily money as in cash flow.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though I understood what you said and knew intuitively what you meant, I also thought of currency. And so currency, when you think of currency, it's that vehicle in which exchange happens. And so when we back to this room that we were in, the currency that was there in the room was truly money in a cash situation, but also the currency of the exchange that we were able to. The Bible says iron sharpens iron. So there's one man, that's a current.
Yeah.
Are you on the same current? Are you on the same frequency? Is where we get that same ideology. So the currency in the room was brought in because everybody was like-minded. So the Bible says it this way: how good and pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. That's what that was. That's what that was.
Hey.
So it had to be in the church.
Had to be in the church, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Big blessing. Big blessing.
Man, this is a powerful medium that you have been consistently. I want to confess now to forcing on me, but now I appreciate it. It's a jewel. What you may not know is on that TV over there in front of you, that one is usually the one that's playing Faded Glory Barbershop videos, and the top 3 or 4 viewed ones are the ones that you have shot in here, and some of these conversations are at the top of the playlist. And so I just let them run, you know, consecutively. And so a lot of times people are like, hey man, that's you. Oh, okay, turn it up. And so in the midst of all the natural organic conversations we're having, then people will look up and they'll see, you know, Q over there. That's Chip. That's a connection to Chip. Look over there, and that's Chip, man. And you are here even when you're not in the room, because of the dynamic personality and the person that you are, man. That's when you leave deposits. And then we back to a word that you also like to use called legacy. You're getting to actually see the fruits of your labor right here. So I got to tell you, man, I appreciate you. I didn't necessarily get it at first. I was one of the hard-headed students, but all of a sudden then the light came on, and I'm just like, man, you know what? This is what it's supposed to be. And so I appreciate that. I thank you.
And I'm gonna give you some flowers too. I think your openness and willingness, in the barbershop conversations are cherished and treasured, and a lot of people are not.
Right.
No, it's a private thing,
Right.
and I get it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I totally understand that, but I think that I'm grateful for the fact that you're okay with us, doing content, because I'll just tell you, just like you said, I've gotten the same response on my end. People see it on my social media or watch it on the YouTube channel. Like, man, who is that guy?
Wow.
Talking about you.
Wow.
I'm saying, like, yeah, man, go check out the shop.
Right.
Go see him. Like, you can go see him.
Right.
Or one thing, I have there's a few guys that I know that we all learn from each other. We are friends. We mentor each other, and a couple of them are young in ministry.
Right. Okay.
Doing things where they are leaders, like player development. At college football teams.
Okay.
And so I intentionally send it to them because it's something that they can use.
Wow.
Like in this, even just in our time today, you've hit on about 4 or 5 different verses.
Wow.
Just today.
Wow. Absolutely.
Right. And so, like, those things, I think it's a gift to life, and it allows us to, again, just be a blessing to more people.
Absolutely.
And what we do, we strive to give service, via, like you said, as a minister, as a barber, as an educator, both of us as community people.
Right.
We strive to give service, but this is just another medium to give that service. And I appreciate you understanding that and trusting me.
Right.
To be in it with me.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, because, man, it's hot under these lights. You're like, oh man, and none of this is rehearsed.
No.
The fact that Chip just pull a rabbit out of his hat and say, hey, go get it.
Go get it.
I hope I can live up to that. Because we've had some awesome dialogue up until this point. So it's like, wow, the sophomore jinx. I'm wondering, like, hey man, can we keep putting out the level of quality content that we have to this point? But somebody made a post and said, it's not on you, it's in you.
Yes, sir.
And so you just have a way to come in and tap into that source that it just flows.
And I'm gonna tell you this, like, I'm not much of a selfish guy.
Right.
But I'm selfish with this because, man, we can't keep this time. Come on, man. Hey, right. Man, this is so good. Like, we got to share this with some people.
Wow. Well, there's so much negative content out there, and so much stuff that really, I call it cotton candy. Cotton candy is good, but you can't build a diet on it. And so I guess I don't knock the cotton candy out there because I got a sweet tooth myself, but it's good to have some steak and potatoes.
It don't give you the firm.
Yeah, man, absolutely. That those foundational, because truly the elders in the Bible meet at the gate. And so we don't necessarily have a gate because we don't live in that culture anymore. But I think now this is our new gate.
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking about the internet. There's something in the internet, they call it the gateway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're back in the gateway because now the elders are being able to have this kind of content that we're able to share with the younger men. Yeah. They may not come sit in the barbershop now because we have appointments, they in and out. Yeah. But this may allow them to kind of glean some of that knowledge and wisdom from the elders sitting at the gate.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think too, just as you were saying, it made me think about the quality relationships that we've had with people pouring into us throughout our life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you talked about this before, sitting in the barbershop and just hearing, or just being around, other people that are mentors, just, not even necessarily being involved in the convo, but just hearing.
Right.
And I think that's the great thing about it too, the content, the social media piece, when you use it the right way.
That's good.
It can further things with positivity.
Wow.
For sure. What you say? Hey, and it's not rehearsed.
Yeah, nah.
Just come on.
It's always amazing to me how once we, you know, get on air, so to speak, that
Yeah.
everything else stops.
Yeah.
No more walk-ins. My phone hasn't rang one time. Somebody called to find out if we take walk-ins or appointments. It's like it's a sacred place that God just kind of stops the world around us because He, in essence, is ordaining. This has to happen. And all the other distractions, though we have come to think are necessary, are they really? Because for this little amount of time, 30 minutes or whatnot, God stops seemingly the world around us so that we can have this kind of medium to express it, man. I'm getting kind of choked up now as I'm thinking about this, but
blessed to be a blessing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Blessed to be a blessing. I'd like for you to kind of talk about some of what you're doing. You know, looking at you, you're rather dapper. But I'd love for you to kind of share as far as with your style tutor piece, what you got going on as well, because I'd love for people to know about that, Doc.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, the style tutor kind of has evolved from my time in the barbershop. As a young man, Mr. Powers used to cut my hair, I think from the time I was probably 3 till when we moved at 15. So, yeah, for 12 years, Mr. Powers was my barber. And it was kind of like this kind of medium where, you know, men would come and sit. Of course, we had all walk-ins in. There was no such thing as an appointment. And so it was that gleaming of conversation where you just, as a kid, you know, you only speak when being spoken to. And nobody was usually talking to us kids. So we just sat there and listened. But Mr. Powers had a tailor phase to his business on the other side of the wall.
Wow.
And so he would cut your hair, and then, you know, I would see guys go in, get up from a haircut and go next door and come back out, you know, with some different pieces of garments. And I was just like, wow. And I wondered for years what was going on back there. And so as I got older, maybe closer to my teens, I asked him about it, and he kind of let me see, you know, a little bit behind the curtain and see what was going on back there. And I was just blown away, not only as a young man seeing that was the first legitimate black businessman that I ever saw. And then to see it wasn't just the barbershop, he had 2 businesses all in one building. And so it left an indelible mark on me that the 2 worlds really go together. But I hadn't seen it done until one day God just reminded me of that and said, you already like to dress, you know how to dress. People always ask you, hey man, what do you think I should do with this or that? And so God said, did you forget the vision? And so it kind of just began to marinate, I guess, in my spirit from there. And so then it came to just me dressing because I wanted my barbershop to be, you know, upscale. So I always dressed a certain way. I let my barbers dress how they were comfortable, but it just became more one thing after another. People ask, hey, man, I got a wedding. You know, what do you recommend I should wear? And so just like how you had to do, you kind of pull me in slowly until all of a sudden it's like, you know what?
That is my thing.
I can do this, you know? And so it just kind of evolved. So now you can find me on Instagram at the Style Tutor 53. And it's a platform that I started off using to just kind of model and just kind of do something with some selfies if I was feeling myself that day. And then it's evolved to now where people actually can book me to do a full wardrobe makeover. I can consult for anything from a wedding to, you know, special event. Maybe some guys have a nice, you know, business dress game, but their casual game is a little shaky, and they need to know, how do I dress just to go take my wife out to the movies?
Yeah.
And so that's what I do, is I come in and I'll talk with you mostly over the phone. We can do a phone consultation. There's about 18 questions, and we'll dialogue about what your desire is, what are you trying to accomplish, what your aversions are to fashion, what would you like to try, and then we just decide from there. Is it just a singular event we're doing, or are we doing a complete wardrobe overhaul? And so then from there, you know, I can shop for you, or I can give you some, you know, some parameters to go within if you want to do it yourself. And I'm really flexible and easy to kind of work with depending on the needs of the client. So that's kind of what it is.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. Thank you for the question.
Yes, sir.
So there is a impact. I think we're on volume 5 now.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what's up with that?
Yeah, impact the influence. First off, you know, growing up, I didn't know any authors, and just to be able to see my name on the book, is that,
Wow.
like,
Yeah, I just felt that when you said that. Like, whoa.
like,
Yeah.
Like that's my name on that book. That's my picture in that book. And just to see that blows me away. But really, kind of like what we talked about, you know, the book is compiled of powerful influencers or people that have been influenced by something or someone in their life. And, you know, they reflected on what they learned from that experience. And then they talk about how they're using that to help our world be better, you know?
Right. Wow.
And so what's cool is, and I got some great relationships. And just all of these people have done some really neat things. So they're just sharing the story in the book and putting it out. You know, I thought, you know, my hope was, man, maybe we'll impact some folks, but just to actually see it. I mean, there's like big time leaders doing book studies on the books, and we've done book tours, and of course, you know, everybody that's in the book, they all speak, and so we speak about, you know, we've spoken at seminars, and it's far truly surpassed anything I ever thought it would be. And so just to have one is cool, but volume 5. So, man, it's crazy.
What do you think that keeps most African American authors from becoming authors?
I think it's the same thing that holds anybody back from achieving greatness. It's self-imposed limits. And I think there's a lot of things where, and I'll just speak for myself here because I don't want to, you know, but I would think it's similar for a lot of people. A lot of times, you don't know it's possible until you see that it's possible. So like I said, like I didn't know any authors growing up. What if I'd have said, oh, I don't know any authors, you know, we haven't done that.
Right.
You know, what if I lived a life where I said those kind of things, or could I have become an author? Probably not. You know, but then once you see that, like, and those things are really possible, or you put in the work to, like I said, just like anything, like you may not know you can cut hair until you get reps.
Boy, that's so right.
And start cutting hair and getting reps and practicing and edging yourself up and shaving, and then, you know, little brother or cousin. Oh, next thing you know, oh wait, like I can cut.
Right.
I mean, you can apply that principle to anything in life, but you got to put the work in, and those reps show you that you can. I think that that's one of the things that holds us all back from, yes, maybe writing books, but you can. I think you can apply that to anything.
Right, for sure. Sure. So we're right back to being open.
Come on. Come on. And I'm gonna tell you, like, I never would have thought, like, as a kid, like, of course, you had those bucket list goals,
Right.
but really, bro, like write a book for real,
Right.
like really, you go
Right.
you gonna write a book, like really, but then multiple time bestsellers,
Right.
All of those kind of things. Speaking,
Right.
like.
Yeah, not a book that somebody has on the shelf somewhere, but that's
like,
actually making a difference.
And people like repeating what's in it.
Wow.
Telling you,
yeah. Right. Does that ever get old? I mean, you're on volume 5 now. You're kind of supposed to be used to that.
No, it don't get old because I know the magnitude of actually doing it.
Wow.
Like if it didn't mean anything to me, it's like, yeah. But it means something to me, and just the fact that someone would think of enough of something that I've worked hard for to achieve, to appreciate it, and appreciate it so much that they're quoting it. Like, man, hey, I ain't never been to North Carolina.
Right.
I'm in North Carolina for this book tour, and this lady comes up to me, and she's like, man, I really enjoy, and this was the first one. This was volume 1.
Right.
I really enjoyed your chapter. Like when you said in the chapter, and she was repeating word for word.
Right.
What it said.
Right.
I ain't never been to North Carolina.
Right.
But I'm in North Carolina for the book tour.
I just told you that. You here.
And I'm in the North Carolina for the book tour.
Right.
And there's a person that I've never met.
Right.
Come up to me and tell me that they like something that they read in my book that I never even thought I'd be an author.
Right.
And so just like those things, it never gets old. It just, for me, like, it keeps me grounded. It keeps me appreciative, because those things don't have to happen.
Wow. Yeah.
But it also makes me hungry. Right?
We back to go get it.
Go get it, baby.
See, I think I asked you that once before. How do you stay motivated to go get it? Dog. So the more people appreciate what you've done, then the hungrier it makes you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because it shows me that like bigger things are possible.
Right. Wow. Man, you're a blessing. It's almost like eating, that feeling of being full.
Yeah.
And I always feel full after our sessions. I think.
Man.
Yeah.
It's refreshing. Yeah, we don't need no mirror.
Yes, sir.
I think for me, it's refreshing because just to hear the knowledge, just to bounce ideas. A lot of the things it affirms. Like, it's great to have like-minded, like-hearted people around you. Go get it.